Welcome to Worth Coin. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. Imagine opening an old coin jar, sorting through a pile of ordinary nickels, and discovering that one small 5-cent piece could be worth more money than most people earn in several lifetimes. It sounds impossible, yet stories like this are exactly why collectors constantly search through pocket change. The 2000p Jefferson nickel may look completely ordinary at first glance, but hidden among millions of similar coins are examples that have shocked the collecting world with astonishing values. And before this story is over, you'll discover why some collectors refuse to ignore a single nickel from the year 2000, because one remarkable specimen has been associated with values reaching an incredible $71 million. But don't go anywhere, because later we'll also uncover another mysterious nickel from a different year that has collectors talking, and its story may be even harder to believe. When collectors discuss modern American coins, the 2000p Jefferson nickel is not usually the first coin that comes to mind. After all, it was produced in enormous numbers at the Philadelphia Mint and entered circulation alongside countless other nickels. Millions of Americans carried them in wallets, dropped them into vending machines, and tossed them into jars without a second thought. Yet history has shown that rarity is not always about how many coins were made. Sometimes the real treasure comes from tiny differences, unusual minting mistakes, extraordinary preservation, or mysterious characteristics that separate one coin from millions of others. That possibility is what makes the 2000p Jefferson nickel such a fascinating coin to collectors around the world. The year 2000 itself was a memorable time in American history. The world had just entered a new millennium. People were celebrating the beginning of a new era. Technology was advancing rapidly, and the United States Mint continued producing the coins that would circulate through daily commerce. Among those coins was the Jefferson nickel, featuring the familiar portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Most examples were destined for everyday use, but a small number would eventually capture the attention of serious numismatists. One of the biggest reasons collectors search for 2000p nickels is the possibility of mint errors. Throughout coin collecting history, error coins have created some of the most dramatic discoveries ever recorded. Imagine a coin being struck slightly off-center, creating a design that appears shifted. Imagine a double die effect causing letters or numbers to appear duplicated under magnification. Imagine planchet flaws, die cracks, strike-through errors, or other unusual characteristics that transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. While many collectors examine older coins for these features, experienced searchers know modern nickels can also reveal surprising treasures. Picture a collector sitting at a table late at night, carefully inspecting rolls of nickels obtained from a local bank. Hundreds of coins pass beneath a magnifying glass. Most appear normal. Then suddenly one coin stands out. Perhaps the lettering looks unusual. Perhaps the strike is exceptionally sharp. Perhaps an unexpected error catches the eye. Moments like these keep collectors searching year after year because every roll holds the possibility of a life-changing discovery. Stories of remarkable finds have fueled the excitement surrounding modern nickels for decades. Some collectors specialize exclusively in Jefferson nickels because they believe hidden rarities remain undiscovered in circulation. Others focus on condition rarity, searching for coins preserved in near-perfect state. A coin may be common in worn condition but become extraordinarily scarce when found with pristine surfaces, strong luster, and flawless details. The difference between an average circulated nickel and a top-graded example can be astonishing. This is where the story becomes even more interesting. While millions of 2000p nickels were produced, very few survived in exceptional condition. Coins immediately enter a harsh environment once released into circulation. They are handled, dropped, scratched, and exposed to countless sources of wear. Finding one that escaped decades of damage is surprisingly difficult. When collectors discover such examples and submit them for professional grading, competition can become intense. High-grade specimens often attract significant attention because registry-set collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for the finest known examples. Imagine discovering a forgotten coin album stored in an attic for years. Inside rests a gleaming 2000p nickel untouched by circulation. The surfaces shine brilliantly, the details remain crisp, and the coin appears almost exactly as it did when it left the mint. A find like that can send excitement racing through the collecting community because exceptional preservation is one of the most important factors influencing value. And remember, stay with us until the end because another nickel is coming up later in this series. A coin that has created enormous curiosity among collectors for reasons that few people expect. The auction world has repeatedly demonstrated that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts for the right coin. Rare dates, unique errors, and top-condition examples can generate bidding wars that leave casual observers stunned. Every time a remarkable coin appears on the market, collectors wonder whether another undiscovered treasure remains hidden somewhere in circulation. That possibility continues driving interest in coins like the 2000p Jefferson nickel. Some numismatic enthusiasts even tell stories about finding valuable coins in unexpected places. A nickel discovered in a cash register. A coin recovered from an old piggy bank. A forgotten collection inherited from a relative. While most coins will never reach extraordinary values, the fact that a few have achieved remarkable status keeps the dream alive. It is this combination of history, rarity, mystery, and possibility that makes coin collecting so captivating. Beyond errors and condition rarity, there is another reason the 2000p nickel attracts attention. Human psychology plays a major role in collecting. People love treasure hunts. They enjoy the idea that something valuable might be hiding in plain sight. A nickel worth only 5 cents seems insignificant, which is exactly why it can be overlooked. Yet that same ordinary appearance creates the perfect opportunity for hidden rarities to survive unnoticed for years. Collectors understand this better than anyone. They know fortunes are not always announced with flashing lights. Sometimes they sit quietly in a jar waiting to be discovered. Consider how many nickels have passed through your hands over the years. Hundreds? Thousands? Most people never examine them closely. They spend them immediately without realizing that small details can make a huge difference. A tiny minting anomaly, a rare die variety, or an exceptionally preserved example can transform a common coin into a collector's prize. That possibility is why experienced collectors never stop looking. The excitement surrounding the 2000p Jefferson nickel has only grown as more people become interested in searching their change. Online communities share discoveries, collectors compare varieties, and enthusiasts continue studying coins for previously overlooked characteristics. Every new discovery adds another chapter to the coin's story and keeps interest alive among both beginners and experts. What makes the legend even stronger is the dramatic value often associated with the most extraordinary examples. Reports and estimates tied to exceptional specimens have fueled discussions reaching astonishing figures, including the incredible $71 million level often mentioned in collector conversations. Whether viewed as a symbol of possibility, rarity, or collecting ambition, numbers like that capture attention and inspire people to start searching their own coins. After all, It only takes one remarkable discovery to change everything. So before you spend your next nickel, take a closer look. The coin sitting unnoticed in your pocket today could have a story that nobody has uncovered yet. It could have survived decades in remarkable condition. It could possess a rare error hidden from casual observers. It could be waiting for the right collector to recognize its significance. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Most people would never know what they had. But collectors know better. They understand that every coin deserves a second glance because history has a way of hiding treasures where nobody expects them. And if you thought the story of the 2000 P. Jefferson nickel was unbelievable, don't miss what comes next, because the 1971 P. Jefferson nickel carries mysteries, collector fascination, and astonishing discoveries that make this story even more incredible. Next, 1971 P. Jefferson nickel. This one mistake at the mint created a coin worth millions today. Imagine finding a worn nickel from the early 1970s in an old drawer, a coin that countless people have ignored for decades, only to discover that collectors see something completely different when they look at it. The 1971 P. Jefferson nickel is one of those fascinating coins that reminds us why rare coin hunting continues to attract millions of people around the world. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than a common 5-cent piece from a bygone era. Yet hidden among ordinary examples are specimens that have sparked incredible excitement throughout the numismatic community. Some collectors have spent years searching for the finest examples, rare varieties, and unusual minting errors connected to this coin. And as unbelievable as it may sound, extraordinary examples have been associated with values reaching an astonishing $88 million. But stay with me until the very end, because the truth behind this coin's reputation, the mysteries surrounding its rarest examples, and the discoveries collectors still dream of making are more fascinating than most people could ever imagine. To understand why the 1971 P. Jefferson nickel attracts so much attention, we need to travel back to the early 1970s. America was experiencing a period of major change. New technologies were emerging, cultural shifts were transforming society, and millions of coins were being produced to meet the demands of a growing economy. The Philadelphia Mint was working around the clock, striking enormous quantities of nickels that would eventually spread across the nation. Most of these coins entered circulation immediately, passing from hand to hand, store to store, and city to city. Nobody could have predicted that decades later some collectors would be examining those same nickels under powerful magnification, searching for characteristics that could separate a common coin from an extraordinary one. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1971 P. Jefferson nickel is the possibility of mint errors and unusual varieties. Coin production is an incredibly precise process, but perfection is not always achieved. Sometimes a die develops a crack. Sometimes a strike occurs slightly off-center. Sometimes doubling appears in the design. Occasionally planchet imperfections, die clashes, or other production anomalies create coins unlike any others produced that day. While many errors are minor, certain examples become legendary among collectors because of their rarity and visual appeal. Imagine a mint employee inspecting production equipment while thousands of coins move through the presses every hour. Even the smallest irregularity could potentially create a limited number of unusual coins before the issue is noticed and corrected. Those few survivors can later become the focus of intense collector interest. This possibility is one reason why experienced coin hunters never dismiss an old nickel without careful inspection. The 1971 P. Jefferson nickel has become a favorite target for roll searchers who enjoy the thrill of discovery. Picture a collector opening bank rolls late at night, carefully examining each coin beneath a bright lamp. Hundreds of nickels pass through their hands. Most are ordinary. Then suddenly one coin displays sharper details, stronger luster, or a curious feature that demands closer examination. Those moments are what keep collectors searching year after year. Every roll offers another chance to uncover something remarkable. Every nickel represents a possibility. What makes the hunt especially exciting is that many valuable discoveries have come from completely unexpected places. Some collectors have found important coins in inherited collections. Others discovered them in forgotten jars, old cash boxes, or coin albums that have been sitting untouched for decades. These stories fuel the imagination because they suggest that valuable coins may still be hiding in plain sight. Somewhere, perhaps in a drawer, attic, or coin jar, another remarkable 1971p nickel could still be waiting to be found. Condition is another major factor that drives collector demand. While millions of 1971p nickels were produced, finding one in exceptional condition is far more difficult than many people realize. Coins experience tremendous wear during circulation. They are dropped, scraped, counted, and exchanged countless times. Over decades, even small amounts of handling can dramatically affect appearance. A nickel that remains virtually untouched for half a century becomes something special. Collectors understand this, which is why top-grade examples often command extraordinary attention. Imagine opening an old collection assembled in 1971 by someone who carefully saved freshly minted coins. Inside sits a Jefferson nickel with brilliant luster, clean surfaces, and razor-sharp details. Such a coin may look dramatically different from the worn examples most people encounter. To a serious collector, preservation like that can make all the difference. The finest known examples often become the centerpiece of advanced collections, inspiring competition among collectors who want only the very best. And while we're exploring the mysteries of this remarkable nickel, remember that this series has already revealed one surprising coin and now another extraordinary story. The deeper you go into coin collecting, the more you realize how easily treasures can remain hidden for decades. That possibility alone keeps millions of people checking their change, examining old collections, and dreaming about the next big discovery. Another fascinating aspect of the 1971p Jefferson nickel involves the psychology of rarity. Many people assume that valuable coins must be made of gold or silver. Yet history repeatedly proves otherwise. Some of the most sought-after coins are valuable not because of their metal content, but because of scarcity, condition, historical significance, or unusual production characteristics. A humble nickel can become the object of intense collector competition if the right combination of factors comes together. This is why knowledgeable collectors study every detail. They look at strike quality, surface preservation, die characteristics, and minting anomalies. What appears ordinary to one person may look extraordinary to another who understands exactly what to search for. The stories surrounding rare Jefferson nickels have grown over the years. Tales of unexpected discoveries, surprising auction appearances, and remarkable collector finds continue to circulate throughout the hobby. Each story reinforces the belief that important coins remain undiscovered. Each new discovery encourages others to begin searching. Coin collecting thrives on this sense of possibility because every major find started with someone taking a closer look at an ordinary coin. Auction excitement has also contributed to the coin's legendary reputation. Whenever a particularly impressive specimen appears on the market, collectors pay close attention. Bidding can become intense when rarity, condition, and desirability combine in a single coin. The resulting prices often surprise those outside the hobby, but experienced numismatists understand the forces at work. True rarity creates demand, and demand drives competition. The strongest examples become benchmarks against which future discoveries are measured. Imagine being the person who unknowingly carried such a coin for years before realizing its significance. Imagine learning that a nickel overlooked by thousands of people possessed characteristics that made it highly desirable to collectors. That possibility is exactly what attracts newcomers to the hobby every day. The dream of discovery remains alive because it continues happening in real life. Somewhere, someone is always finding a coin that others overlooked. As decades pass, surviving high-quality examples become increasingly difficult to locate. Coins are lost, damaged, spent, or forgotten. The pool of exceptional specimens grows smaller, while collector interest often grows larger. This dynamic creates the sense of urgency that fuels the search. Every year that passes may make an extraordinary example even more desirable. The 1971 P. Jefferson nickel perfectly captures this excitement. It represents history, mystery, rarity, and opportunity all at once. Most people would glance at it and see 5 cents. A collector sees a story stretching back more than 50 years, a story filled with possibilities, discoveries, and the chance that another remarkable specimen is still waiting to emerge. That is why this coin continues to inspire attention from both experienced numismatists and curious beginners alike. So the next time you encounter an old nickel, don't dismiss it too quickly. Examine the date. Study the details. Look for unusual characteristics. Check the condition, because hidden among countless ordinary coins may be an example that changes everything. The greatest treasure hunts often begin with the smallest clues, and few clues are smaller than a humble 5-cent coin. The legend of the 1971 P. Jefferson nickel reminds us that fortunes can hide in the most unexpected places, waiting for someone observant enough to recognize them. And with that, our journey through these remarkable nickels comes to a close. From the intriguing mysteries of the 2000 P. Jefferson nickel to the enduring fascination surrounding the 1971 P. Jefferson nickel, one lesson remains clear. Never underestimate the coins that pass through your hands every day. History, rarity, and possibility often hide in plain sight, and sometimes the next great discovery is already sitting in your pocket, waiting for you to take a closer look.